Hey there, let's talk about alternative building. You know, a lot of people are turning to alternative building because they don't have any other option with the extreme expenses and loss of income and inflation. And often when people think about alternative building, you're like, well, is that an adobe house? Is that an earthship underground? I would say that first off, it is any structure that is not financed by a bank and you build it yourself. That's my definition. And anything that falls within that category can be alternative because that's what sets you free. But let's take this a step further just to expand upon the possibilities. You know, back here we have a 1,024 square foot porch or carport that we use. We have a 201 square foot round kitchen that started as a master bedroom, and we have continued to build, and each one of these rooms is about 144 square feet, roughly 12 by 12, which is very much like a standard bedroom. So building in a modular fashion this way is done primarily here because we do workshops and we want to be able to build something that we can actually finish during our workshop. But actually it has a great advantage for many who need to start small or with a budget, and you simply build the master bedroom, throw in a little kitchenette, and hey, there it is. You've got a place to live, and then you just keep adding on. Um, these structures were built like an adobe structure, you know, with the beams through. The new ones, we decided to not do the beams and fake them. But anyway, there's two more rooms down here. And we've got two more rooms in construction here. And so even though these are being built kind of as we go, pay as you go, as you have the time or ability to do so, a modular house could be spread out like this, or it could be all together. But when you build a small piece at a time, you're able to finish it and live in it, and then continue to expand to your needs. With all of these buildings that we have, including two bathrooms, there it is. Nope. There it is. We have two bathrooms and two showers over here in this unit, and it also has solar power on this unit. And basically all this together brings us to right around 1,070 square feet of house, which is not bad. It's just a distributed house that's built in modular little sections. And as I was saying earlier, you certainly could have built this to be done on one slab and then finished over time. You could have even put up one roof and then built the rooms under it as you could afford or as you had the time. Because you can put up one of these little rooms like this in 7 days, and then you can finish it. And of course, you know, that really opens itself to flexibility and an alternative lifestyle, whether it's retiring in a more simplistic manner so you have more of your budget to spend on the things you want to do or to travel, or in cases like what I've done, basically it becomes a living retirement where, you know, I'm just not going to sit around and wait till I'm too old to enjoy life before I begin to build. And put together the life that I actually want to live, to do the things I want to do. And here we have the foundation or the footing already laid. We're going to be putting in an earthen poured earth floor in this structure, which is going to be pretty nice. At the workshop, we're going to be pouring another slab over here, which is going to be a bathroom. And in the distance here, we have a constructed block tank that's going to serve as the worm composting tank for our toilet. And you know, that's a very ecological and sound way to process your waste and make usable compost for you know, some trees out in the yard, as well as the liquid goes to a constructed wetland and is cleaned up and is further used to grow shrubbery and high carbon mulch sources. And so everything gets used. And you know, these workshops, we teach you from the ground up how to build your own house. We literally start with the foundation. We're going to talk about and show you how the plumbing gets done, how to design the plumbing for your house, how to do the electric wiring for the house, how to design a solar system for off-grid living if you want to live off the power grid. We're also going to be covering, how to engineer Aircrete for both the safety and strength, as well as how to do the heat load calculations to be sure that you're able to heat and cool the structure and to put in the proper size unit, because if you put in too big of an air conditioner, you wind up having problems with humidity, and it's not as comfortable because that sensible heat that comes from the humidity is what makes you feel uncomfortable. So we learn to size that correctly. We're also going to venture into some of the very basics of, how to legally reduce or eliminate your taxes. Basically, we're trying to give you every skill that you need to build a functional house and homestead. But that's just the first week. So the second week, then, we're going to be putting an additional workshop for free in to add even more value. And in the second week, we're going to show you how to build out of cast earth, where literally you can cast a monolithic structure that not only looks good, but isn't just earth. Like, earth bags, houses, and even earth ships are subject to a temperature lag, and that change over time in most climates can become too hot or too cold unless you have an average temperature that works out. So in order to have the house function as a modern structure, you have to have not only thermal mass, but you have to have insulation. And we're going to be also talking about night sky radiant cooling. In this slab back here, that we're going to be building on this next workshop, we're going to actually be doing basically radiant flooring, but we're going to show you how to use barium sulfate to create your own nanotech thermal infrared emitting paint that allows you to actually cool your house in southwestern and dry climates with no electric bill, no real energy other than maybe a 40-watt circulation pump. And that's something that's very unique and exciting, but you can also use it with vacuum heat collectors to heat your house. So that together allows you to have a completely passive structure. But back to the cast earth here, we're going to show you how to actually check your soil and to do different mixes to be able to get the different strengths, and then you can test your blocks. And we're going to be putting a large, heavy, massive thermal wall, to absorb heat here on the outside, or on the inside, excuse me, of the structure, so that all we have to do is open up a high window and it'll take that heat out overnight and cool the structure down. Then we close it up during the day. That's more passive and more simple than night sky radiant cooling, and so we thought, why not? But then we're going to have a 12-inch space in the wall, and this is going to be filled with natural insulation. And it's this insulation that gives you the ability to have this structure function and function well, because you're not just subject to like earth bags or earth ships. You can make this any temperature you want in any climate, or you can take the passive amount. And then on the outside, we're going to have another cast earth wall, and this wall is going to be much thinner. It's going to be thin enough that it's going to be able to radiate all its heat away overnight so that it isn't continuing to radiate heat in. And this allows you to have a very modern and very functional structure. And so these are two of the ways that we're going to talk about doing passive designs, because anytime you can lower your bill and reduce your cost of living, it adds to your life. And then, it's just to be sure we add even more value, we're going to, I guess you can't see it, it's too dark now, but we're going to show you how to catch water off the land, and then we're going to show you what it actually takes to grow 80 to 100% of your own food. Now, growing 100% of your own food is something that people don't quite have a grasp of, and the techniques are very specific. And I'm trying to show how to do this in the minimal amount of space, 800 square feet per person for 100% of all your survival needs. So just consider that building homesteads and building your own supply chains, taking responsibility, taking the power away from the corporation by not spending money with the corporations, only spending it with other men and women and producing everything you can for your life, it puts you in power. Because the reason that the bankers and the reason that the Great Reset billionaire boys, they have that power because every single thing you get right now comes out of the hand of the system. It comes from their corporation. So if they want to cut you off and say no, tough. That's just the way it is. You don't have a choice because it's their company and it's their resources. And what we want to do here is teach you how to build your own structures, minimize your cost, and replace or create that alternative building that does not have bank financing and also was built by you and didn't use a contractor. And when you do that, the price is low, low, low. I mean, look at the pie chart. It's just amazing how little of the total cost of a house can actually be what you have to pay out of pocket. And when you get that price down so low, then you can work. And if you build in a modular fashion like we've done here, if you actually build in little structures or even big structures over time, then you're going to be able to complete these on whatever budget you have. And, you know, it was kind of unexpected, but every time I've downsized in my life, I've actually become more happy. Life's been more enjoyable because you don't really possess things, things possess you. And you may find that when you start small like this and you sort your life and all your garbage and your junk and your extras out, and you live smaller, you may find a richness of life that makes it much more enjoyable, and there may be no need for that large house. And again, in the case of this, including the porch, you know, we're over 2,070 square feet of, you know, house, even though it's been built over time in a very easygoing fashion, as opposed to trying to do it all at once. And again, that's alternative building. It's an alternative mindset where we do things differently. We become our own source. We build into our lives the things that we want, and we create the life we want to see. We take control, we take responsibility, and you don't have to wait for any politician or any government to come save you. You just do it yourself, and then you're fine. Regardless of the population or depopulation agendas, it kind of becomes irrelevant because you're not beholden to serve them. So also, one last thing, in this upcoming course, we're going to be teaching an introduction to creating your own online business. Because if you can stop being an employee, then 100% of your effort can generate 100% of the money to go into your life, to build your homes and create your life. And now you're completely removed from that corporate and banking system. And now you have choice. Now you're taking responsibility. And this is what we're going to be teaching in the upcoming workshops. So if you find this interesting, if you want to learn more, click the link below in the description. You can find a link to video courses, as well as you're going to find links to the upcoming Aircrete Workshop. Because that's what we're teaching here, is how to build an Aircrete house. And this year, we're actually teaching how to build an earthen house. So very exciting, and I hope to meet you there. So many great, like-minded, wonderful people show up to these events, and you know, we're really trying to pack the value in there to make this an event that goes above and beyond and more practical than anything else out there. Because this is about getting it done. This is about what it takes to establish the foundation of life. And once you've got the foundation established, now you can grow, and now you can become more, because you're not spending all of your time serving your stuff just to have food and shelter. Now you actually begin to have choices in life, and that's what this is all about.